Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Morristown Hamlin High School West Trojans, Lamar Brown. Coach Brown, you go to Sevier County. Your offense gets on track. You had a couple players with big nights we'll talk about in a minute. But breakdowns on special teams, really the turning point in the game.
Well, special teams gave up a lot of points. Had 6 turnovers and a block punt. You're not going to beat nobody with 6 turnovers and a block punt. I think we played better. It seems like we can invent ways to lose football games, and we did then. Defensively, we only gave up 329 yards to a great offense, but you take kickoff returns, punt returns, and interception return yardage, and they had 396 in those 3 phases of the game, and that was really what broke our backs.
Coach Zach Pell returns to the backfield for extensive action. Josh Black, a big night from the tight end position.
Josh Black's our best football player right now. He's playing really well. He's making plays for us, and not just plays you see. He's catching the football great, but right now he's one of our better blockers at the tight end position, and he's a real physical player, and he made some great catches the other night against Sevier County, and Zach, we moved him back to tailback, and he had a really good night. We didn't have DeAndre Delaney, and we needed some speed back there, and Zach really helped us.
Isaiah Dahl, he's just been solid all year long, consistent for your Trojans.
Isaiah, you know what you're going to get. He's going to run the play the right way. If we block it for 5 yards, he's going to gain 6 or 7, and Isaiah is a very consistent back.
Coach, midpoint of the season, I know that you're really happy with the timeliness of your bye week.
I am. It couldn't come at a better time, Billy. This team needed a week without an opponent just so we could sit back and work on ourselves. We've got a lot of things to get better at. We're going to spend a lot of time on special teams and ball security. Against Science Hill, penalties killed us. I was proud the way we responded to that against Sevier County. We had 2 penalties for 20 yards throughout the game, and then this bunch responds. But we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and this is a very important week for us.
Coach, as far as the physicalness of your practices during this bye week, middle of the season, do you amp it up? Do you keep it about the same? Do you dial it back a little bit and then wait for game week next week?
Well, we're going to be who we are. There's a time and a place to prove you're a tough guy, a tough football player, but you don't have to prove that every day. And that's kind of our philosophy here. There's going to be times this week that we turn it up, and there's going to be times that we back off and work a lot on the little things.
Coach, unfamiliar territory going into the second half of the season for this Trojan football program, for these group of boys, but I know that the coaching staff realizes you're just getting into the meat and potatoes part of your IMAC schedule. There's still a lot of good things that could happen as far as making the state playoffs.
Oh yeah, this is a good football team, Billy. We went back and looked at last year. In the first 5 games last year, we was 3 goal line stands away from being 0-5. We had a goal line stand against Harlan County, caused Greenville to fumble inside the 5, and Cherokee was throwing a pass into the end zone on the last play of the game to win the game. There's not a whole lot of difference in this team than last year's team. The biggest thing is last year's team made plays when they had to, and that's something that this football team's improving on. I thought we made plays against Sevier County. We just had a lot of issues in special teams and had 3 turnovers inside the 15-yard line going in to score. You can't beat anybody like that, and then a good football team like Sevier County. So that's things we focused on. This team is not dead by any means.
Coach, over 500 yards of offense against Sevier County, as we mentioned, and that's got to be a good catapult going into the last half of the season to build off of for your team.
It is, and our offense has moved the football all year. We tend to shoot ourselves in the foot one way or the other. It had been penalties, and this week it was turnovers. But this offense has moved the football every week, and we just got to get better at finishing drives. That really hurt us against Sevier County. We left about 28 points out there on the field that we thought we had opportunities to be back in the football game, and this offense has really started to click, especially the past 2 weeks, and it's only going to get better.
Coach, if you're like most coaches I know, I probably know what the answer is going to be, but when you want to step away from football and just be Lamar Brown, the man, what do you do for enjoyment?
You don't get much time away from it right now, Billy, but I love my family. I love spending time with my wife, Tanya. I've got a daughter, Emily, that's a freshman here. She's very active in volleyball and basketball here, and you know, most of my spare time spent with them. They're always my number one supporters, and I sure wouldn't be here without them.
Coach, we appreciate your time. I know we're going to meet a couple of your players, and we'll catch up with you after the bye week.
Thank you, Billy.
Trojan fans, that's the head coach of the Trojans, Lamar Brown. We'll be right back with a couple of Trojans.